Right now at 5, the Carl Junction City Council looks to hire an outside law firm to assist in an ethics violation investigation.
And we've got a pretty decent Wednesday lined up for us. Unfortunately, thunderstorm chances returning tonight. Some of those could be strong. Look at that forecast. Get you out the door. Coming up.
Plus, what first responders want you to know if you spot a down power line in your neighborhood.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Porter. It is Wednesday and it's May the 21st now. We've got a lot of schools starting to wrap up here in the next few days and getting ready to roll into summer. We have the Memorial Day weekend coming up as well.
Things, yes.
We have lots of rain coming up as well, unfortunately, to help us, I guess, celebrate. I'm not sure. No, we can't celebrate in the rain. We do have a lot of rain, and unfortunately, the rain that we're expecting does come with a possible severe threat as well. Let's start, though, with that look outside downtown Pittsburgh. I got those clear skies this morning doing pretty good. It's a little bit on the cool side, but otherwise, it's not too bad. I just now realized, just before it went away, our time and temperature bug says it's 85 degrees, and I can assure you right now it is absolutely not 85 degrees outside. If it was 85 right now, I don't even want to imagine what the high could possibly be. MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline looks good as well. Future track through the majority of today, we're fine. We have clear skies. We'll have a light northwest breeze. Temperatures a little warmer out there. In fact, as you see down south, upper 70s, maybe even a couple of 80-degree readings. It won't be until we get about 8, 9 o'clock tonight that we're going to start to see some opportunities for some showers and thunderstorms, and unfortunately, some of those could be strong, possibly low-grade severe out there. Now, hail is the greatest concern. I know yesterday we were telling you we weren't anticipating any severe weather. The data didn't look like anything severe, which is good because even though we now have this threat, it's a low threat. So it's a level 2 out of 5. It's there, but it is low, and that is some at least good news. But what we're looking at in the yellow zone here, that level 2 zone, is the possibility for some large hail. Could have a few lingering showers and storms from this activity tomorrow morning. And then as we head into Friday, we have another level 1 out of 5 risk as we will start seeing more thunderstorms by Friday afternoon, and some of those again could be strong to low-grade severe. We're sitting at 56 in Joplin right now, 57 in Pittsburgh, and temperatures across the area look like this. We're all in the low to mid 50s to start our day. Some cooler spots we've got Newata and Neodesha as well as Parsonsville all at 50 and Sedan at 50. But again, not too bad, but a little cooler this morning where we have been the last couple of mornings. Low 50s to start. Kids getting on that bus. Clear skies. Winds expected to be calm or at least light and variable. Heading home, looking at the upper 70s by the time bus brings them back. North breeze 5 to 10. Skies still clear. As I mentioned, it won't be until late this evening into the overnight that we'll start to see those thunderstorm chances across the region. And our highs today also, again, upper 70s across the area. We'll talk more about the thunderstorms we're expecting tonight, and we'll take a look at Friday's thunderstorm chances and the holiday weekend here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, the Carl Junction City Council discusses limiting their mayor's authority after one council member files an ethics violation complaint. Now, the newly elected mayor of Carl Junction is already finding himself in hot water. Mike Moss took office just last month, and last night, council members discussed a complaint submitted by council member James Shanks, alleging Mayor Moss repeatedly refers to female employees as, quote, Steve's harem. Now, that's in reference to City Administrator Steve Lover. In the complaint, Shanks says the comments were made both before and after Moss was elected.
I can only hope that you guys do not take these comments or the disrespect towards these women and the employees of our city lightly. In doing so, I can only hope that you see that this is not just a one-time thing, but a continuous issue, and that you take the next step in the right direction for the sake of our community.
Now, the council did not take any votes or make any decisions last night. They are, however, in the process of finding a law firm to assist in the ethics investigation. Well, some people have come forward after the Cherokee County Sheriff asked for information regarding a paint war on Rainbow Bridge. Rainbow Bridge is a popular attraction on Route 66 and had recently been restored. The vandalism happened last Friday. According to Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, 3 adults and 2 juveniles were spotted throwing paint on each other on video. The Sheriff's Office says those involved have come forward and they are currently planning to remove the unwanted paint. Now, to be the first to see breaking news, weather and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, chainsaws and cleanup crews were in action yesterday as communities around the 4 states deal with uprooted trees and downed limbs from Monday's storms. Now, some of the worst damage appears to be in the Columbus, Kansas area. It's more than just damaged trees there. In some cases, fallen trees have damaged homes and other property. Cleanup and repairs could take weeks or months. We spoke with the residents about their experience.
Texted everybody to let them know that the tree was down in front of Mom's house, and we started coming out, but the driveway was blocked, so we had everybody parked on the shoulder and we all came in and cleared out the driveway for them. But it was pretty scary, actually.
Now, families we spoke to in Columbus said they are very grateful for how the community reached out to help. Well, for Joplin residents who've experienced broken and downed tree limbs from the storms, the city is once again providing its free limb drop-off site. Residents can bring their tree limbs to the drop-off site at 1702 North Schifferdecker Avenue. The service will run daily through Saturday from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. Only tree limbs will be accepted. The city also wants to remind residents that residential trash service allows yard waste removal on regular trash pickup days. You can find more information on our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. Well, the Pittsburgh Fire Department says they responded to reports of down lines after severe storms Monday brought down power lines all across the 4 states. Now in Crawford County, thousands of people were left without power. And first responders say even if they don't look that scary, a down power line can be very dangerous. If you come across one, you shouldn't touch it and should stay at least 25 feet away.
Be very mindful of where utility lines and power lines are, and when you're setting up a ladder or working with a chainsaw or a pole saw, make sure that you're setting up well away from any of the utility lines.
Chief Sherney says if you see a down line, you should report it to Evergy or local authorities. He says never assume someone has already called it in. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Google has just announced a detailed vision for the future of searching the web. Plus, the GOP budget bill battle heats up as President Trump rallies support for his agenda. And we have a warm and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, Home Depot says for the most part it won't raise prices from President Donald Trump's tariffs. The home improvement giant is trying to take a different approach than that of Walmart and other retailers that plan to pass trade war related costs onto consumers. Now, a Home Depot executive told Analysis on an earnings call that its customers will not see broad price increases. However, he added the tariff effect might raise prices on select items or force other products to be eliminated. More than half of Home Depot's inventory comes from the U.S. Well, it's out with the old and in with the new at Google. Tuesday, the search giant laid out its vision for the future of searching the web. Now, this comes as Google works to compete with chatbots like ChatGPT and other search engines fueled by artificial intelligence. The company said the search engine will no longer just process keywords. They're adding so-called digital agents so that can crawl the web and answer questions based on a person's real-world surroundings, taste, and preferences. Google did not say when the updates would take effect. The Federal Aviation Administration has ordered less planes departing and arriving at Newark Liberty International Airport. The order was issued yesterday after weeks of delays caused by air traffic controller staffing shortages and runway construction. Effective immediately, Only 56 planes will be allowed to take off and land each hour while renovations are underway. Now, when construction is not taking place, arrivals and departures will increase to 68 each hour until October 25th. This order comes after a 3-day-long delay reduction meeting held in Washington with airlines, the FAA, and the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Well, right now, the House Rules Committee is holding a meeting on the Republicans' budget package dubbed the Big Beautiful Bill by President Trump. Yesterday, the president went to Capitol Hill to rally a splintered House GOP caucus behind the measure, which has major implications for his domestic agenda. Jared Hill has more from New York.
Just after 1 a.m. in Washington, the House Rules Committee gavelled in to consider the Republicans' massive budget package, clearing the committee the final hurdle before heading to the full House for a vote.
We're here to finish the job.
Why are you trying to ram it through in the dead of night?
The late night session, hours after President Donald Trump rallied Republican support for what he calls his big, beautiful bill on Capitol Hill.
I think we're going to get everything we want, and I think we're going to have a great victory.
But party divisions have dogged the measure. The bill would make the president's 2017 tax cuts permanent. It works in his campaign promises of no taxes on tips and overtime. The measure also increases spending on national security while making cuts to Medicaid, food stamps, and clean energy subsidies. Conservative hardliners say it doesn't do enough to slash the federal deficit.
The president, I don't think, convinced enough people that the bill is adequate the way it is.
House Speaker Mike Johnson is confident his caucus will pass it.
We are right on track to deliver.
The president said the bill also includes initial funding toward the construction of his $175 billion Golden Dome defense project.
The Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles even if they are launched from other sides of the world and even if they are launched from space.
Amid the domestic focus, today President Trump is hosting the leader of South Africa, a week after welcoming a group of white South African refugees to the U.S. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Yesterday, the president said he believes his Golden Dome defense system will be completed by the end of his term. And still to come, a new study reveals an urgent child health crisis and funding gap. Plus, Chris returns with another look at your Wednesday forecast. Well, a very rare occurrence blew through the Windy City, disappearing parts of it in a dark and dusty cloud, and it was all caught on camera. Jerry Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Today we have a whole host of atmospheric oddities and or weird and wild weather whatnot, starting with a rare dust storm that temporarily disappeared some of the Windy City. Multiple cameras captured parts of Chicago that were shrouded as the clouded wall of dust blew on through. The National Weather Service issued a rare dust storm warning for the metro area, only the second of its kind in the service's history. And they said the mid-city blustery dust gust was caused by strong winds blowing over dry farmlands. The event was so significant, it could be seen from space. A couple of days prior to that, Midwestern weather watchers in the same area were treated to another rare sight, a giant, bizarre fog tsunami that was caught on camera rolling across Lake Michigan. It was caused by cold air from a nearby thunderstorm, sending the Great Lakes thick fog rolling outward in one wondrously weird wafting wave. Finally, the last atmospheric phenomenon came in the form of worldwide radio blackouts caused by what experts are calling the strongest solar flare of the year. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory captured images of multiple events on the sun's surface, including one solar flare that clocked in as a Class X, NOAA's most powerful classification. Energy from strong flares are known to disrupt communications on Earth, and sure enough, Space.com reports following the event, there were radio blackouts reported in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Absolutely fascinating. Now let's head over to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Thankfully, nothing quite like some of that weather we saw there, but we do have thunderstorm chances increasing tonight, some of which could be strong, possibly severe. We're going to break down the details for you and take a look at the holiday weekend forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's just now 5:22 on this Wednesday morning, and I know yesterday We spent the day telling you we didn't have any kind of severe risk for the storms that we're expecting tonight. And that's because really there wasn't anything standing out yesterday that signaled we could see severe weather. That has changed. But some good news is, with it only showing up early this morning and not several days in advance, that means it's not going to be anything like Monday. But we do have the threat for some strong to low grade severe thunderstorms. Now, hail is going to be the primary concern. It's a level 2 out of 5 risk on that for parts of extreme southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma, and the southern half of our area in southwest Missouri. Now, there's also an isolated wind risk out there. It's a level 1 out of 5 and a very low tornado risk. Again, no areas highlighted for the tornado threat, but a reminder, with severe thunderstorms, it's never really zero, but it is very low, which is some good news. It's the last thing we need, but we do have that chance for some strong, possibly severe thunderstorms overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. So let's talk about what's going to happen leading up to that. Believe it or not, we're going to have a north breeze, which is a little uncommon ahead of some kind of severe weather event because usually it's a south breeze bringing in warm, moist air for us. But we're going to have a light north breeze, but our temperatures are going to be warmer today than where we were yesterday, and that's going to assist with the thunderstorm development as we're going to go into the upper 70s, maybe even a couple of 80-degree readings out there as well. Now, once we reach about 8, 9 o'clock, we're going to start to see thunderstorm initiation. Now, these storms are going to be scattered, and at this point, the expectation is fast-moving supercells. Now, I know supercell, that's a word that is commonly associated with tornadic storms. The good news is our environment at this point is not really favorable for these storms to rotate to that point, but they could produce some large hail, golf ball size or so out there. So that's something we want to watch. They'll begin about 9 o'clock or so, and you can see, again, they're going to be scattered. Not everybody's going to see showers or thunderstorms. In fact, further west, you may just barely get some light rain initially, but as you can see, we're future tracks picking up on one possible supercell. It kind of comes out of southeast Kansas, rolls into southwest Missouri, and dives to the southeast. And then we'll have additional scattered showers and storms overnight. So this is 3 a.m., and you can see those storms continuing. And again, that severe threat will continue with these storms into early tomorrow morning. So here we are at 5 a.m., and we've got thunderstorms just kind of lined up across the area from east to west. And again, some of these could be strong to severe. Now, by about 8, 9 a.m., those storms will begin to wind down. An isolated shower storm late morning, very early afternoon will be possible, but I think the main concerns are going to be done by 9 a.m. Tomorrow, and then we'll start clearing out as we roll into Thursday evening. Then we get into Friday. Friday starts with a few clouds out there. Another pretty cool start, some low 50s, maybe a couple upper 40s. We're a little cooler by Friday afternoon, low to mid 60s, but we start to see thunderstorm initiation into the afternoon hours. So after about, say, 1, 2 o'clock, here we are at 3, scattered showers and storms. So Yates Center, Chanute, Parsons, down toward Veneta. These storms will be, again, scattered in nature, but they will continue with us and actually gradually increasing coverage as we go through the late evening and overnight hours. And these showers and storms continue, unfortunately, into the holiday weekend. Now, at this point, we're looking at primarily at a flooding concern this weekend, but some strong, potentially severe thunderstorms will be possible for the Memorial Day weekend as well. So it's something we want to certainly keep an eye out on. All right, so there's our level 2 out of 5 risk for us today. Just some isolated thunderstorms initially tomorrow, and then we have the opportunity at level 1 out of 5 risk as we roll into our Friday. Getting our day started, we should have clear skies out there. It's going to be a beautiful day. Mid-50s to start, near 70. We warm up quickly by 11 o'clock this morning. Again, our highs today heading into the mid to upper 70s. We'll have those thunderstorms late tonight into early tomorrow. Low 70s tomorrow, mid 70s Friday. Memorial Day weekend, we heat up. We're down in the low to mid 80s, but we also see those thunderstorm chances increasing rolling through the holiday weekend. We'll warm back up again next week with additional shower and thunderstorm chances next Wednesday and Friday. Let's check your forecast. I'm going to send it over to Lise now with Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, a global study on children's health found the key challenges for young people are poor mental health, rising obesity, and exposure to violence. Now, the study by the Murdoch Children's Research Institute also showed while children make up nearly 1/4 of the world's population, they receive only 2% of global health funding, showing more resources are badly needed. A pregnant mother's exposure to air pollution could leave her child with a lifetime of asthma-related issues. A study by the American Thoracic Society found even if a child is never exposed to air pollution, their health can be impacted if their mother was exposed to it during pregnancy. The study also found that there's still a risk even if the pollution is at a level defined as safe by the World Health Organization. And vaping devices are more addictive than nicotine gum. That's the findings of a new study by Nicotine and Tobacco Research. They asked young people to abstain from nicotine for a night, then use either an e-cigarette or nicotine gum. Now, the e-cigarette users felt more satisfaction for their nicotine craving, which can also lead to addiction. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, schools in Joplin lay down the foundation for future education.
And we've got a pretty decent Wednesday ahead of us. However, thunderstorm chances increasing late this evening. Details in the forecast get you out the door coming up.
Plus, area law enforcement team up to take part in a torch run for Special Olympics.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's just coming up on 5:31. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Wednesday, yes. May the 21st. And of course, we started this week with significant severe weather across the area.
Did, yes.
Folks still cleaning up, and unfortunately, more thunderstorm chances are in the forecast. We're going to start with that look outside downtown Pittsburgh. We've got clear skies. In fact, the majority of our Wednesday looks fantastic. We've got clear skies, temperatures a bit warmer, a light northwest breeze. Otherwise, it's not a bad day. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking good as well. It won't really change much until we get to about 8, 9 o'clock tonight. So we got the clear skies, again, that light northerly breeze. That's really about it. Temperatures warmer, but again, about 8, 9 o'clock, we start to see increasing shower and thunderstorm chances. And this is when we start to see that window for some strong, potentially severe thunderstorms. Now, at this point, we have a level 2 out of 5 risk across parts of southwest Missouri and to southeast Kansas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. So it's confined. It's a narrow corridor. And then surrounding that, of course, a level 1 out of 5 risk. And then we have just the thunderstorm chances that will be lingering into the first part of our Thursday. Now, some of those could still be a bit strong in the morning, and then they'll begin to weaken and eventually go away by the afternoon. And then we have a level 1 out of 5 risk again on Friday for additional strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms by Friday afternoon. Now, the main concerns with any storms we see tonight is going to be the potential for large hail, golf ball size or potentially larger at this time. We're 56 in Joplin right now, 55 over in Pittsburgh, and across the area temperatures get a little cool. But now we've got a colder spot, Sedan, sitting at 49. The rest of us, for the most part here, hanging out in the low to mid 50s as we get this Wednesday underway. I know school's getting ready to wrap up for a number of students across the area, so this bus stop forecast is going to wrap up as well. But at least for this morning, low to mid 50s, clear skies, and a light and variable breeze out there. By this afternoon, still clear, but much warmer, upper 70s with that north breeze at around 5 to 10. That north wind, again, 5 to 10 miles an hour. Clear skies. Highs today, upper 70s, maybe even a couple of low 80s here and there before those storms start rolling in later tonight. We're going to talk more about our storm chances tonight. We'll show you those thunderstorm chances for Friday and take a look at the weekend forecast for the holiday weekend here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
Chris, thanks. Well, Joplin schools kick off the start of a multiple expansion project in elementary schools across the district. Royal Heights Elementary hosted a ceremony for the groundbreaking. Updates and additions to the school will include additions to the kindergarten, library renovations, updates to the cafeteria, and classrooms for art and music. The projects were approved by the Board of Education earlier this year.
You know, we had several schools that were rebuilt after the tornado to new standards, and some of our other schools that have been around for quite some time needed an upgrade when it comes to the facility standards that we've built on recently.
Groundbreakings for additions and updates at Jefferson Elementary and McKinley Elementary also took place yesterday. Area police agencies joined forces yesterday in Webb City for a good cause. Officers took part in the law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics. All across different regions of the state, the torch is moving towards Kirksville, Missouri, where this year's games will be held. The 2025 State Summer Games will be held at Truman State University from May 30th to June 1st in Kirksville.
Most of the people that are running have been doing it several years in a row because, I mean, it's a very show that support and to show that our organization, our city stands behind Special Olympics.
Now, this year's games will feature 4 sports: volleyball, track and field, powerlifting, and swimming. Well, soon you'll be able to take a trip back in time thanks to your phone and a tap of your finger. The Fort Scott National Historic Site will pilot the first ever augmented reality experience. Now, through the NPS app, visitors can experience digitally reconstructed historic structures in the national park. Now, the app is available for iPhone and Android. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Officials warn about new salmonella outbreaks linked to cucumbers sold by Bednar growers. Plus, more Americans are planning a trip this summer. We'll have the details. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, well, many new college graduates looking for work right now are having a difficult time securing a job. But there are things candidates can do to stand out. And Jen Sullivan sits down with a career expert to discuss tips on how to get hired.
Graduation is an exciting time for students as many close the chapter on their education and get ready to find their first job out of college.
It's really important for them to treat looking for their next opportunity like a full-time job.
Brandy Britton is a career expert at the recruiting firm Robert Half. She says this can be a challenging time for graduates trying to find a job, and the numbers show that. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York recently released their unemployment data and found nearly 6% of recent college graduates were unemployed. That's about 2 percentage points higher than the national unemployment rate.
Individuals who are willing to go on site for positions, are flexible with what their starting salary is, are being considered for some of the most opportunities.
Robert Half recently conducted a survey about hiring and found 71% of Gen Z respondents said getting noticed and securing an interview is their biggest challenge.
Let everyone know that you are looking for work.
Britton also recommends working with a mentor. Utilize your school's career services, connect with alumni in the field you want to enter, and highlight your experiences in college to show relevant skills. Before an interview, she recommends you should always research the company and ask questions.
Consider contract work. That's a great way for new grads to get additional skills.
Career experts estimate it can take college graduates 3 to 6 months to get hired. So be patient. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Well, the FDA and CDC are investigating a new salmonella outbreak linked to cucumbers sold by Florida-based company Bednar Growers Incorporated and distributed by Fresh Start Produce Sales Incorporated. Well, at least 26 people have been sickened in 15 states. At least 9 people have been hospitalized. Restaurants and stores that sold the affected produce are urged to notify their customers. Tainted cucumbers from the same grower were also linked to hundreds of illnesses last year. And more Americans are planning to go on vacation this summer, and many say they'll take the work with them. And according to a recent survey from Deloitte, 53% of respondents say they expect to travel and stay in paid lodging, up from 48% last year. Nearly a quarter say they'll work during their longest trip. Now, the study found that more Americans, 28% compared to 18% the month before, say they plan to take shorter, more frequent trips instead of splurging on one long vacation. And according to Wallet Hub, 58% of Americans plan to attend a barbecue this Memorial Day weekend, with the average cookout cost coming to just over $31. Kroger is getting in on the holiday weekend, offering a backyard grilling bundle that the company says will cost around $3.50 per person. The bundle includes store-brand quarter-pound beef burgers and buns, Bush's baked beans, and Oscar Mayer hot dogs. That's a look at Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got an absolutely beautiful start to the day, albeit a bit on the chilly side. However, we are going to see some thunderstorm chances as we roll into the late evening and overnight hours, and unfortunately some of those could be strong, possibly severe. We're going to break down those storm chances for you today and the ones we'll see Friday, and of course take a look at the Memorial Day forecast here in just a few more minutes.
Well, farmers are making a lot of progress when it comes to planting. An update in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. Planting progress has officially kicked into high gear. USDA's latest check shows farmers are continuing to run full speed ahead. The agency now reporting 78% of the corn crop is in the ground. That's 5% ahead of the 5-year average. For soybeans, 66% now planted. Check it out, that's 13% ahead of normal. And USDA Secretary Brooke Rollins this week approving the first ever state waiver to restrict soda and energy drinks from food stamps in Nebraska. Now, prior to the waiver, SNAP recipients could buy anything except alcohol, tobacco, hot foods, and personal care products. The waiver goes into effect on January 1st. Walmart has been ordered to pay more than $222 million. That's after a jury in an Arkansas federal court sided with a tech company called Zest Labs. Now, Zest Labs had claimed the retail giant stole its technology that extends the shelf life of produce. Walmart has vowed to appeal the decision. Chipotle is introducing a plan to give away $1 million in free burritos. It says from June 1st through August 31st, it will be holding a Summer of Extras. It will give Chipotle's loyalty members the chance to earn extra benefits, extra points, and extra free Chipotle. One Chipotle reward member in each of the states it operates will even win free burritos for a year. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got the opportunity for some strong, potentially severe thunderstorms as we roll into the late evening and overnight hours. Now, our tornado risk very low, so we don't have any areas highlighted, so that's some good news. The greatest concern at this point is going to be for large hail. That's why we do have a level 2 out of 5 risk for parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, southern half of our counties in southwest Missouri, and we do have a level 1 out of 5 wind risk. So again, the greater concern, though, is going to be with large hail that could be golf ball size or bigger as we head into the overnight hours. Now, the majority of today, as I've mentioned, is going to be fine. We've got clear skies out there, a light north breeze, nothing really to worry about. In fact, our temperatures even are going to be a little warmer as we roll into the afternoon, going to upper 70s and maybe even a couple of 80-degree readings out there. Now, once we reach about 8, 9 o'clock tonight, clouds will gradually begin to increase and we'll start to see those thunderstorm chances begin to develop. Now, initially, we're looking at fast-moving supercells. And as we discussed before, I know supercell, it is a phrase that is very commonly associated with tornadic storm development. That is not always the case. A supercell is a storm that's independent of itself. It's not part of any line, and it can be strong to severe. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to always produce a tornado threat. But supercells have that rotation, and it's that rotation and the rotating updraft that's going to generate the large hail risk. Not looking again at a serious tornado threat at all. Our risk again very low, but these storms may get just enough of a spin to develop some large hail. So here's future track picking up on at least one supercell late this evening that develops into the northern parts of southeastern Kansas in our area and then quickly rolls off to the south and east into Missouri. And then we'll see additional scattered storms out there. So this is one of those situations, not everybody necessarily may see rain tonight, but those that do could get some strong and again potentially severe storms. By Thursday morning, they're kind of lined up, one right after another, from northwest back down to the southeastern portions of our area. They'll continue through the morning, but by about 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow, and this is one thing that hasn't really changed since yesterday, the main risks begin to go away. We're looking at weaker storms by about 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Could have an isolated shower storm south of I-44 around noon, 1 o'clock, but for the most part, we'll begin to dry out and skies will clear out as we go through the evening and overnight hours on our Thursday. Then clouds will begin to return early Friday morning. Friday, another cool start, some upper 40s, most of us, though, into the low 50s. And we'll be dry for the majority of our Friday. It'll be Friday afternoon, and we'll start to see the opportunity for additional showers and thunderstorms, and some of these could potentially be strong. So here we are about 2, 3 o'clock. Yates Center, Chanute, Parsons, stretching down toward Veneta. These storms, again, will initially be scattered, but as we go later into the evening and overnight hours on Friday, those shower and thunderstorm chances will begin to increase a bit and become a little more numerous out there. And that continues into the holiday weekend. Now, right now, we don't have anything for the holiday weekend that's screaming severe, but there is that potential. We are watching for strong, possibly severe thunderstorms Saturday and Sunday. The other concern we have, the greater concern we have, honestly, is with the potential for flooding with some heavy rain. So again, our level 2 out of 5 severe risk for us today. Again, some isolated storms initially with this on Thursday, and then they begin to clear out. And a level 1 out of 5 risk across most of the area as we head into Friday afternoon. Beautiful sunrise out there, 7th and range line looking fantastic. Starting around the mid-50s, but take a look at how quickly we warm up. Low 70s by 11 this morning. Into the afternoon, clear skies, eventually into the upper 70s, couple of 80-degree readings, not out of the realm of possibility. Wind shift out of the east after midnight. Clouds again start to increase this evening, as do our thunderstorm chances, and we'll fall back into the low to mid-50s. Going into our Thursday, again, a little cooler, low 70s, mid-70s on Friday, back into the low to mid-80s for Saturday and Sunday, but then we have those thunderstorm chances. Flooding is a major concern, so again, if this weekend you've got plans to go to the river, the lake, the creek, whatever the case may be, you've got to be weather aware and monitor the flood potential reports. If there's any flood warnings, anything that says get out of there, don't wait, get out, and just make sure you've got an alternate plan in place if you're going out toward the water this weekend. Well, those thunderstorms do continue into our Monday. Temperatures cool off a bit, then they start warming up again next week with more storm chances next Wednesday and Friday. Let's check your forecast. We're going to send it over to Lisa now with sports.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, several of our local high school baseball and softball teams in Southeast Kansas have the chance to punch their ticket to state. Regional tournaments take place all across the area. Regional championship game between a couple of CNC rivals, Frontenac and Columbus. Winner is headed to state. Titans strike first, but the Raiders answer right back. Bottom of the first, runners on second and third. This wild pitch goes all the way to the backstop, allowing Jack Capehart to tie it at 1. Then the throw gets away, and Brock Weimers comes all the way around from second to score and give Frontenac a 2-1 lead. That score holds into the top of the third when Coffeyville signee Jack Viella hammers this pitch to left field, and that one pops the fence, and he's got a stand-up double and advances the tying run to third. Next batter, Reese Pons. He makes it back up the middle and through for an RBI single that ties it up at 2 later in the inning. Titans not finished. The freshman phenomenon Cash Smith shoots it into right center for another RBI single. The Titans score 3 runs in the fourth to take the lead and don't look back. They're headed to 3A state tournaments. Well, Humboldt High School baseball is headed to the 3A state tournament as well. The Cubs win 2 games yesterday afternoon. The first one was tight, a 1-run victory over Iowa in extra innings in the semifinal. Then a couple hours later, Humboldt takes down Burlington 6-4 in the regional championship game to earn a trip to state. Well, high school football regionals continued yesterday afternoon as well. Now that includes Pittsburgh, who is the #1 overall seed in Class 5A's East region. No surprise here, the Purple Dragons are headed to the state tournament. They crushed Turner 11-0 in the regional championship after beating Washington 32-0 in the semifinals. Fort Scott High School softball is headed to state as well. The Lady Tigers earn a spot in the 4A state tournament after beating Labette County 13-0 in the regional semifinals, then taking down Topeka Hayden 6-4 in the championship game. Now moving over to Missouri, defending Class 2 state champion Diamond is our only local softball team remaining in the playoffs. And last night, the Lady Wildcats punched their ticket to head back to Springfield for the state semifinals. Now, they're one of the last 4 teams standing in Class 2 after an 8-5 road victory over Clever in the quarterfinals. Diamond's state title defense continues. And that's it for sports. We'll be right back. The Navy Blue Angels put on a show Tuesday over Annapolis. Now, it was practice one day before the actual show. It's part of the Naval Academy's graduation week schedule. The graduation ceremony happens Friday. And a wild chase for a kangaroo in Colorado. Police in Durango chased down a pet kangaroo named Irwin, although it's unclear how the kangaroo escaped. Officers ran after the brazen animal as it scurried about town. Cops described the unusual chase. Now, this is not the first time Irwin has attempted to escape. Police had to track him down last fall after he successfully broke free.
Well, he certainly seems to want his freedom, and he's looking forward to kind of getting out and running around. And I mean, that's an interesting thing, though, for police officers. How do you respond to that one? Like, it's a kangaroo chase, not your typical police chase. Well, here's what we've got in terms of today. Again, majority of today, fantastic. We've got nice temperatures, going to be mild, mid-50s to start, warming up quickly, low 70s by 11 o'clock this morning. Clear skies, as we're experiencing right now, that beautiful sunrise from 7th and Rangeline. Into the afternoon, clear skies continue, and we're warmer today, heading into the upper 70s, maybe even a couple of 80-degree readings with a north breeze at around 5 to 10. Then late this evening, after about 8, 9 o'clock, clouds increase, thunderstorm chances increase, and some of these overnight could be strong, potentially severe, with large hail as the primary concern with any storms that we see. We'll be back into the low 50s tonight, and east breeze 5 to 10. A couple of strong storms could linger into the first portion of our Thursday. They'll wrap up by about 8, 9 o'clock for most of us, maybe an isolated shower storm south of I-44 after that. And then we have more storms by Friday afternoon, could be strong, potentially low-grade severe, and that threat continues into the holiday weekend, with temperatures climbing in the low 80s. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more after this.